know what always makes me mad? How come banana candies never taste like actual bananas? If not actual bananas, what the heck makes that flavor? Hey guys, Julia here for DNews. So I don't know if you've noticed lately, but there's been a trend for big companies to remove unnatural ingredients from their products. General Mills is just the latest, joining others like Panera and Nestle. General Mills says 90% of its cereals will have no artificial ingredients by the end of 2016, and they want to move towards ingredients people will recognize. They want to move towards products that people see as natural. And that's the problem though. Do most people know what natural is? When you look on the side of a box of cereal, you might see a few ingredients you can pronounce, like wheat and sugar, and words like natural flavor and artificial flavor. We use words like artificial and natural as a shorthand, and we just kind of assume everyone knows what we mean. We assume that natural is anything nature makes and artificial is man-made or made from chemicals. The FDA sort of agrees. Basically, they say an artificial flavor means it's not derived from plant material, meat or dairy products, or fermentation products thereof. But the real difference between artificial and natural flavor is a little more complicated and a little bit fuzzy. I mean, processed foods can be really tasteless. It's been frozen, bleached, dried, what have you, to smithereens, but hey, at least it has a long shelf life. To make up for that lack of taste, scientists have to add a little something extra. Most of those flavors in your food, natural or not, are made in a lab by scientists called flavorists, who are something like a mix of a chemist and an artist. Their entire job is to mix minute amounts of chemicals to produce just the right flavor. They can whip up a few chemicals and make you think it's a turkey dinner, and it's big business. One study from the Fredonia Group estimates the flavor and fragrance industry to be worth over $5.7 billion. I know that word chemical might sound scary to some of you, but I mean everything is chemicals. Apples have chemicals in them. Apples contain fructose, sucrose, pantothenic acid, ethyl hexanate, 3-decanol, and a bunch of others I can't even pronounce. So you can have chemicals derived from a pit of an apricot and heavily processed, or the same exact chemicals synthesized in a lab, and one would be considered natural and the other one not. Schlosser gives the example of amyl acetate, or banana flavor. He says when you distill it from bananas with a solvent, amyl acetate is a natural flavor. When you produce it by mixing vinegar with amyl alcohol, adding sulfuric acid as a catalyst, amyl acetate is an artificial flavor. Either way, it smells and tastes the same. So the exact same chemical can be considered natural or artificial. And natural doesn't always mean better. Natural flavors go through the same process in a lab with those flavorists, just like an artificial flavor would. Some aren't even remotely related to the food they supposedly taste like. Some almond flavors can come from apricot pits, or in some rare cases, that natural vanilla flavoring has been known to come from the anal glands of beavers. And even flavors made from fungal or tissue cultures are considered natural. So these companies have a lot of leeway with the word natural when it comes to processed foods. And just remember, like arsenic and rattlesnake venom are technically natural, doesn't mean they're good for you. So when you pick your favorite cereal off the shelf, just be smart, be a little skeptical. Speaking of another great debate in the food wars lately, GMOs. What's the deal with those anyways? Lacey really separates the wheat from the chaff in this great video right here.
Now, GMOs also allow crops to grow in arid, dry land that they wouldn't otherwise. Basically, the major seller here is that it allows farmers to produce a lot more food in a lot more places with a lot less work.
So how do you feel about this natural versus artificial debate? Health conscious or marketing baloney? Let us know down in the comments below. While you're there, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons, share this video, and keep coming back to DNews. We've got new episodes every day of the week.